How do you turn an idea into a finished story? Welcome, and I hope you're enjoying your new year. Again, I'm Luke Morris, and this is Creative Writing Corner. And a couple weeks ago, I made a video about loglines, what they are, how they work, what goes into loglines, and how they're used, both to promote or pitch a story and to create a story in the first place, to develop a story idea into a finished story. And I did this exercise, just spent 10 minutes doing it, where I came up with an idea, came up with a logline, and turned it into a piece of flash fiction right away. So I'm going to present this to you as an example, as a model for you to follow. The flash fiction is very short, it's just a little punchy, it's not something I'm going to try to publish. I do not claim this is Shakespeare, but I was able to take a very basic idea and make what I think is a relatively entertaining story about it. At least I enjoyed reading and writing it, and some people I've read it to have enjoyed it as well. So, hope you guys enjoy it too. The basic idea I started with was, I'm going to write a story about a bank robbery. Okay, so how can I flesh out the story of the bank robbery? I could delve into who the characters are and what the setting is and the time of day, time of year. Like if I really wanted to write a deep, in-depth, long story about this, I might have to think about a lot of different things. But to start off with, I just need a basic concept. So I turned this concept into a logline. Trying to involve, I need a character, I need some kind of conflict, I need some kind of irony there, I need something the character wants, some kind of obstacle against him. So here's my logline, and it's not great. It doesn't really follow all the guidelines of loglines that I did before. Again, I just sketched this down very quickly and went with it. I didn't even bother to revise it, which is not what I really recommend with loglines. I recommend you guys revise them to give you something that really appeals to you, but I enjoyed this logline and I thought I'd write the story. So, here it is. A first-time bank robber meets his match in a bank teller who's way too clever for him. I wouldn't say it's the most original idea ever. We've seen probably many things like it, probably even in sketch comedy, to thriller, to horror, who knows? There's all sorts of ways that this could go. But it struck my idea in my mind as a interesting concept, so I figured I'd go with it. So here's the story, as I wrote it out. No editing, no revising, first draft. You can tell by my chicken scratch here, okay? This is a 10-minute production. Arnie pulled the .45 from his coat and placed it on the counter facing the bank teller. A blonde woman of middle years wearing a name tag that read Ellen. He handed her a bag. Money, he growled. Your whole drawer, now. Ellen beamed a bright, cheerful smile. Well, hi there, hun. I think you might be a bit confused. This isn't that kind of bank. Arnie's eye twitched. What do you mean? I mean, if you want to take this cup to the men's room over there, we'll be happy to take your deposit. But I don't think you're going to want to take a withdrawal. Arnie thought for a moment. Then his eyes popped open, and he gagged like a cat dislodging a hairball. He staggered to the exit, leaving the gun on the counter. Ellen added a whistle to her smile as she dropped the .45 into her desk drawer with the others. No, I did not know that that's where the story was going to go when I started writing. I swear to God, I had no idea. But the logline gave me the impetus to start, and the ironic twist that came about during the story just happened naturally while trying to develop the logline into a story. It didn't take a whole ton of effort. It didn't take a whole ton of creativity. I wouldn't say it's the most creative story or original story out there, but it certainly is something I haven't read before, and something that at least draws a reaction from people. So that's the very basic way you go from idea or concept to logline to short stories. This is how you can use log lines to develop your idea into an actual story. If I was going to make this into something bigger than a piece of flash fiction, obviously there'd be a lot more into it. I'd work a lot more on the log line before I even started to plan out the story or draft the story. But you don't need a whole ton to do writing. That's the gist of the lesson here. You need an idea that you can turn into a logline style concept that you can then transform into a story, following essential patterns of story structure. Is this the only way to write? No, of course not. But if you want to tell an entertaining story, it's a really good way to get it going. So I hope you guys give that a try and see how it works for you. I'd love to hear some of your flash fiction pieces, so please post them in the comments below. I would love to hear your weird, twisted takes on turning ideas to log lines to stories, or just post your log lines down there. If I get a chance, I will comment on them and give my feedback as best I can. So, with that said, I hope you guys are having a great new year so far, and continue writing and carrying on. Peace.